Alright everyone, so as usual, I'm going completely off of my content schedule and just making it up as I go along. So what I have here to present to you today is the Uzi Model B. Now I'm not going to bore you too much with old facts and history about this gun, because that's not necessarily what my channel is about. But what I will do is I'm just going to go over some of the main features, how to operate, and what I think about this system overall. So let's start with the safety selector. There it is. So you push it forward for fire, you push it back for safe. Forward fire, back safe. It's a little stiff, I'm not gonna lie. I think that's a good thing though, so if it ever bumps anything or snags anything, just know it's going to take quite the bump to actually knock it into a different setting. Of course there's the iconic collapsible stock, and that's pretty neat. To take this down, you just pinch here, get it folded. There's a button here. Compress that button, fold it under. Now before you fold this all the way up here, you set the halfway point right there, and then this part just comes up and clips into place. And then to undo it, you just force it out and extend it. You do have this safety feature here as well, so even if you're on fire, if the safety tab is not compressed all the way, you won't be able to pull the trigger, versus now you can pull the trigger just like a 1911. This is the mag release here. This mag release is definitely an old school mag release, not ideal in the slightest. So if you compress this mag release and you hold it in, the mag falls freely. The real problem is that you don't really have a chance to hold it in. Even when you're right-handed like this, I mean, I guess you could use your pinky. Yeah, but even then, first off, I have my palming the mag, so it would stick in place anyway. You need to pull it anyway. Second off, that mag release goes insane. You can't, it is super stiff mag release. It takes a lot of pressure. To consistently do that with a pinky or even do it at all, it's pretty hard. So there's no point in trying to get that done. What I've resorted to doing, assuming my strong hand here is still on the grip, what I do is I just come in here with my weak hand, I compress the mag release with a pointer finger, and then I just pull the whole thing out. So no matter what, there's basically always an extra step to this reload. Compared to your standard traditional grip mag releases that normally go to the thumb about right here nowadays, this one is completely inferior and not ideal, although still functional nonetheless. And with a bit of practice, you can make it proficient enough. But it's never ever going to be the fastest option. So just keep that in mind. It'll never be the fastest, no matter who's running it. You get the fastest Uzi operator in the world, and you pit him next to the fastest JP Enterprises GMR operator in the world. The JP GMR guy is going to win every single time. The charging handle's right up here. Right on top, it's literally this. You just pull it back, and it's good to go. It's pretty ambidextrous. As you can see, it works the bolt back there. Good and clear. As for the trigger, it's definitely a duty trigger. So there's a touch of slack here, and then it's just a wall, and then now it travels back pretty far, and then to reset, it also has to travel forward pretty far, and then travels back very far. And I'd say this trigger is around 5 pounds. I think when I last measured it, it was a little over 5 pounds. It was like 5.5. That's just what to expect from a duty trigger. Of course, this is the most basic civilian model. No tag stamps, no nothing. So we got the 16-inch barrel. I'm sure plenty of people want me to double stamp this thing with a shorty and a can, but maybe one day, not anytime soon. The mag, I want to talk about the mag. And also this mag well. The mag has a feature about it that is both an upside and a downside, and that's the fact that it's a double feed mag. So if you look at this black mag here, this is what you call a single feed mag, and this is what you call a double feed mag. So the upside I want to demonstrate right now to this double feed mag is you could load it literally like a rifle mag by just putting the next round up top and pushing it in on the top. So here you can clearly see both of the rounds at the top of the mag. That's why it's called a double feed mag. This is definitely old school. Single feed mags are superior nowadays with our technology. Double feeds, still around, still usable, easier to load, I'll give them that. but just overall less ideal than any of the modern options out right now for the single feed. Coming to the mag well, so as you can see, this mag well is about as straight and narrow as it gets compared to the magazine. So I'm going to feed the mag in there. You can see there's very little wiggle room at all. There's no sideways wiggle room. There's only up and down wiggle room. So you really have to center that mag in just right every single time. Otherwise, you're not going to get it to go in there very easy. There's essentially almost no flare to this at all. So the best you have is this little tiny bit. And the flare is only on the front and the back. There is no flare to the sides. The sides is just straight, flat, smooth wall. So the flare is only in the front, only in the back, less in the back than it is the front, and not that much in the front to begin with. So there's hardly any sort of assistance with getting this big, fat, blocky mag into this narrow passage here to try and get it in place where you need it. And this can cause for some pretty big setbacks as far as a reload speed goes if you have any issues centering it up, lining it up. So the iron sights on this thing are Peephole iron sights. This is my first gun with Peephole iron sights. This is my only gun with Peephole iron sights. And I do not like Peephole iron sights. So I'll just say it right now. You have this little tiny peephole and a little tiny post up front, and you have to try and line that post up directly in the middle of that peephole, and it's very small line of sight. Now that very small line of sight makes for very consistent accuracy. As long as this front post here lines up with somewhere generally in the middle of this peephole, it's going to be pretty spot on. You're going to get a lot of nice, easy, accurate shots out of this. And that is one thing that the Uzi is nice for, is the accuracy. I would blame half of the accuracy effect on the fact that it has peephole sights. Like if this just had regular open top irons, then I don't think people would find this to be as intuitive to shoot so naturally while still being small, tight groupings, you know what I mean? Overall, the peephole sights, not my thing. I don't really appreciate it. But I'll use them if I have to, and they're not the worst thing in the world. Better than no sights by all means. As far as weight goes, I do believe this thing is about 8.5 to 9 pounds in weight, which is heavy. And considering like almost none of that weight applies to the stock, because it's just a skeleton, it's super light. And this part's plastic, by the way. Because there's so little weight in the rear, I mean, this is all the weight is from here to here. So you have this pretty much 8-pound package that you're propping up with your arms here the entire time. And you know, that's not necessarily ideal. It's not the worst, but it's not great, especially for the type of firepower coming out of this with just the 9mm. So this is my Zastava Arms Z-PAP M70. This is the Uzi Model B. Just holding them now, and the Uzi in my dominant arm, I don't know, they feel about the same weight. They feel about the same weight. The AK in my non-dominant arm, the Uzi in my dominant arm. They feel about the same weight, which is absurd. Where is all the weight? I know exactly where the weight is, and I guess I could just show you real quick because it's super easy to take this top off. The weight is in this big giant block of a bolt. As you can see, this green block of steel is the bolt. Yes, it's literally that big, and look how deep it goes. This is the bolt, and it goes like that all the way up here. So you pretty much have a block of steel inside of a sheet steel frame. And that's where a lot of the weight goes, along with the 16-inch barrel. So it's big and heavy. Overall, I can see this being really big in the collector's market space. As for like a home defense gun, I mean, there's plenty of better options out there. It's a little outdated, to be completely honest with you. You don't get like any crazy firepower like out of a revolver. At least revolvers have that. This, you just get all the downsides with the same amount of firepower. As far as an effective weapon goes, I'd rate it a solid 5 out of 10. It's not the worst, definitely not the best. It's just very average, very medium. You can run it proficiently, just like you can any other gun, but you're still not going to be that fast. I just want to bring this up real quick. I've been shooting Winchester White Box out of this. I don't really like Winchester White Box myself, but I shoot it a lot. Let me tell you, Winchester White Box cycles this gun so much better than any sort of Blazer brass federal ammo. The Winchester White Box has that extra oomph that it needs to work this big, huge block of a bolt. Just keep that in mind if you ever get one of these, if you ever get your hand on one of these. If you're shooting it and all that's happening is just nothing but jams and failure to extract, failure to feed, stove piping, if you're only having malfunctions with this gun, I'd say your best bet first, see if your ammo is powerful enough for this thing. I'd say plus P9mm is your best bet out of this stuff. Subsonics don't really do it very well, and even standard factory load 9mm ball ammo doesn't really do it well. Like I said, Winchester White Box is the only one with enough firepower to really cycle this thing consistently. Anyway, the video footage I have of me running this thing that I'm about to present to you right now was just really just for fun. It wasn't serious training. I mean, it was just my regular drills, except this time I got to move around a little bit because I was at my friend's property. He has plenty of property, so it's very nice of him to share with me. So without further ado, here are the clips. These clips are all in order. They're all there. Whatever happened in these clips is what happened. And I thought it was alright. I did very medium. I was still trying to get warmed up to shooting on the move with these peephole sights, so I move very slowly because those peephole sights are easy to lose. Point is, I hope you got the insight that you were looking for on the Uzi Model B out of this video.
Fifteen, 16, 18, 20, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. I probably missed 8. All right. I only saw like 2 of those hit from the hip. Oh yeah. Come on! What is wrong with you? I don't even want to accept that.
And peace out.